Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast, the third episode of the 2026 pre-season, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams, and with me today is a man on debut for the NRL 2026 season for the SC Playbook podcast. Spy, nice of you to make some time to clear the schedule for your adoring legion of fans, I should say. It's good to have you on, and I'm sure the people are very happy to see your face and hear your voice.
That's it. Well, I'm actually still on holidays.
Jeez.
This is my last day,
Must
so
be
I've
nice,
come
mate.
in just for you guys, just for you guys. But the truth is, footy's back, and as much as I love BBL and NBA and EPL and all that, NRL's where it's at, and I cannot freaking wait. It's nice to have that little spell over the sort of November, December period, and I'm like, please, no one talk to me about footy. I just need a spell. But just after Chrissy, after that Sydney Test finishes, it starts to come back a bit, and I'm all in again, so let's fly.
Yeah, mate, how were your holidays? You're looking well. You haven't beefed up too much. Hairline's still hanging in. It's doing all right.
Yeah, a few extra
Might have
on
added
top.
a couple.
Yeah, I reckon I have. Apparently brushing your hair gives you extra hair. Apparently, I'm told that. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that 15 years ago? There you go.
Too late.
So I've been getting into it. It was good. Pretty hectic with the two youngsters, but all good. Good fun. Plenty going on.
You snuck up last weekend to Cairns. We're now big fans of the Northern Pride on this podcast.
The Mighty Pride, yeah, got the Pride shorts on.
Jeez, it didn't take you long to get back into the free footy gear from Sambo, did you? You're up there for one night or a couple of nights and you got the free footy gear
I was
back.
desperate. All my old Raiders gear is starting to dwindle, especially the 2016 pair. And then I noticed that their training gear this year is phenomenal. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Need a new contact down south, which I'll sort out. But, got some Northern Pride gear and got some Wales shorts for Chrissy from Santa. So,
very good.
Set up again.
Yeah, Sambo Williams up north, head coach of the Northern Pride. So, all aboard the Northern Pride. Also with us today, in a reduced format today, or impact today, Matty the Waterboy. Because Matty, with the Australia Day long weekend dropping on the Monday, Bloke podcast was pushed back to today. So, Matty, you're looking after that. You're looking after some big dogs at the moment. We can't reveal who just yet, but you're doing some important things for some big people.
Yeah, it's already a busy day outside of the of what you kind of just referenced, which is very exciting and all to be revealed kind of in the coming weeks. But yeah, no good for me today, unfortunately. It's probably the last time you hear my voice. It's I usually work till about 7:30, 8 on Monday anyway. So yeah, got a lot of stuff to tick off. So I'll be back on deck next week.
So Matty the Waterboy, will love him or leave him, but he's done for the show, and that's all right. On to the good stuff. But today's show, Spy, we're going to be talking boosting strategy for the season, how we're looking to use our boost, when we use them, why, etc., etc. Then we're going to start our team previews for the NRL Supercoach 2026 preseason, starting today with the Broncos, the Raiders, the Sharks, and the Seagulls. Our Unlimited League is also live. Come and take us on. If you think you can knock off the SC Playbook crew, jump into our Unlimited League with $1,000 in cash up for grabs to anyone that can knock us off. If a subscriber wins, they get it all. If a non-subscriber wins, they get 500, with the other 500 going to the top-ranked subscriber. We might even add a little bit to that as the preseason goes on and add a few other elements for the winners at the back end of the year, a few other prizes as well. But stay tuned for that one. The Unlimited League code, all importantly, 479007. That'll be in the YouTube and audio description, etc. But guys, a big announcement which we've been working on for a while now. SC Playbook is moving our WhatsApp community that we've had for years over to Discord. It's a very exciting new platform to be able to elevate the quality of what we're doing at the moment and offering to our subscribers by joining this new platform. When I say new platform, Discord's been around for a while. We haven't used it though. We've all been on WhatsApp. Change is scary. I get all that. I know. I guarantee you though, it is for the best. It's an extremely simple platform that we can use it on mobile app, just like you would with WhatsApp. It pops up, have all your threads and that. Essentially what's happened is our community has grown way too big for WhatsApp, which is a wonderful thing to have happened, but it's led to the move over to there. It'll be cleaner, easier to follow along with, adds more subscriber value, most importantly. We've wanted to be doing some more subscriber-exclusive podcasts and Q&As and interacting as much as possible with the SC Playbook subscribers this year. We can do that way easier with live shows and that sort of stuff in the Discord chat. It'll give us better late mail threads across the NRL, EPL, NBA, NFL, and now our AFL offering, which is starting up today as well. So go and check that one out on site. We're going to be rolling this out over the next week or so. So for anyone new to it and is a little bit scared, as I said, very easy, but I'm going to be putting together a little video, an article with a step-by-step guide on how to join it and get amongst it and be a part of it. We'll have more info on all of that coming at the back end of this week. I'm also going to keep the WhatsApp running for a week or two as well, just so that if anyone has any questions, you can reach out directly to me and I can help you out. You can, of course, access all of this and a ton more for less than $2 per week with the SC Playbook subscription on site in our menu. So as I said, launching at the back end of this week, we're looking to get that up and going, but wanted to give you the heads up. Don't be scared. It'll be very much worthwhile, and I can't wait to get it going for the subscribers.
I'll give you a hot tip. I'm just having a look as you speak about Discord. You can access it on your laptop, which is fantastic for me.
Great for the desktop, great for if you're sitting at work, and as you said, Spy, you're trying to, fade away from work for a little bit and chat a bit of extra Supercoach, get some updates, all these sorts of things. It's just, WhatsApp was wonderful, served a great purpose for us. But with the numbers increasing in recent years, which is brilliant, it's just become a little bit... Discord's going to suit us better, I think. Heaps more we can do.
It'll be fine. It'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right, let's get into this Supercoach chat for the day, though, and we're going to start with our boosting strategy. So for those a little bit new to Supercoach, there are 5 rounds per season that you get to activate a third trade for the corresponding round. It's not a free trade you get to use. It does come off your total for the season. Question to you, Spy. I suppose boosts were introduced 2 or 3 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. Have your opinions changed on it over time? Importantly, have they changed from last season with how you utilised them to this season? And what sort of strategy are you looking at to use your boost this year?
I typically go somewhat hard, and it's not because I'm have to use them early. I just find so many things bob up early in the season that allow you to either make money or fix up something you might have stuffed up or, balance out a position. Say, for example, just off the top of my head, you start back row mid-ranges and you go, this is not working well. You might actually need 3 trades to fix up some early season structural issues. But I often find it's a really good way to make really quick cash in order to get to the side you really, really want as quick as possible. I know I used one last year. I remember it was on Jesse Arthur's early days and he started hot and I just went, I downgraded Garrick. It was before his 4-try haul. It's funny the things you forget about and then they pop up within 10 seconds. But it really did set me sail. And this is an interesting little side tidbit. I've already gone sideways, first potty of the season. There's so many ways to skin a cat in Supercoach, right? So I traded out Garrick in round 3. I think it was 3 or 4. He scored 4 tries and scored about 170. I'm like, oh no. But I was also sitting there going, Jesse made me money. I can now do this, this, and this. And I actually got myself into about 150th come round 20. Even though it was the worst trade in theory you could ever do on paper, but it shows sure, you might miss something here, but if you're making up for it in other places, and by the same logic, you might not have a gun in your side to start the year, but what can you do with that money to spread it out? Because points aren't just singular, right? They come across your squad. So anyway, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, boosting. And, good little digression there. But I think sort of following up from what you're saying, Spy, you're spot on. And with everything we say, especially strategy-wise, there is more than one way to skin a cat. You can play the short game, you can play the long game with your trading, your cash generation, all these sorts of things. There's no majorly better way than another. You can have success either way you play the game Supercoach, and your boost strategy is one of them. When it comes to trading in general, and this applies to boosts as well, the one thing that I've always said and one thing that I always put into place when I'm doing my trades, trade because you need to, not because you want to. So I think in respects to a boost, people see it as a luxury, but it's
a freebie.
It's so much more than that, and it shouldn't be treated like it's a luxury because it's not. They go, I'll use my boost. We've got the extra trade this week. Let's just go for it. It's not. They are so valuable. And at an instance where you might use it is you get to round 4 and there are 3 cheapies who have gone bonkers and they've all got a negative 50 break even. They're about to make a ton of cash. You go, cool, I really need this third trade to make sure I don't miss out on these and use my boost. There might be another week early on in the season where you go, oh, this bloke's, got a break even of 4 and he's scored a few tries and looking all right. Yeah, screw it. I'll get him in and I'll use my boost. But it's like, do you really need to do it? So it's like, just make sure, just treat boost with the respect that boosts deserve and apply that to your trade. So, yeah, what do you say?
I thoroughly agree, mate.
Yeah.
They're there, they can be really beneficial, but if you're sitting there going, oh, this could be handy, like, it's probably a no then.
That says it all.
Yep. You need to be like, gee, this is good.
You almost need to be adamant. I almost picture it as like you're doing your first 2 trades and then going, geez, what I'd give to have an extra trade this week because I need it.
Good way to do it. Oh, I wish I had a third. I do, you beauty.
If you're thinking about it over and over and it's like, and it's a bit willy-nilly.
That'd be nice. I've got 5. I think it's 5.
Because I guarantee you later on in the season, there will be times where you go, wow, I wish I had that boost back because I need it this week. It might be a case of like, both your halves have gone down and you don't have a halfback for the week, but then there's 2 other cheapies you need to get in, or 2 guns have bottomed out and are about to go up in price. And, Walsh is playing the Titans or something on a dry Sunday at Suncorp, and you want all of them. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, the way I tend to use my boosts, and I think when they sort of first came about, I tried to save a few of them sort of for the back end of the year, not necessarily like around 24, 5, 6, 7, but that post-Origin period, maybe even 1 or 2 around Origin, which, as it turned out, they brought in the new rule with your top 13 scoring players for the 3 major bikes anyway. So I don't think you need to really use them around the Origin period because we only need to get those 13 on field anyway. But I think in recent years, I feel like we've seen a lot of success around people who have done well, maybe Supercoach champions and whatnot, that have gone a little bit hard with it early and got on the front foot, targeted a bit of extra cash generation, whatever it might be, and use those early trades. From the first year it came into play, I've always, and I'll stick by it, I want to save 1 for the post-Origin period because we get in players that get us by for Origin because they have good schedules and whatnot. But we sell players like a Cleary or a Haas because they're missing games. The second you come out of the Origin period, there's a lot of players you want back or to get rid of in your team. So that's where I go, bang, I want it for there. So I'll, again, be saving at least 1 for post the Origin period, which will be around 19, 20, whatever it might be. That's how I tend to use them. And in terms of the first 4, I'll probably use 2 to 3 of them in the first 5, 6, 7 sort of rounds. I could use 4 of them before sort of round 10, but, if in a perfect world, if I get my team right and get my cheapies right in particular early, there'll be less of a need to repair the damage that's done and hopefully you start off on the front foot.
Yeah, for me, it sounds weird, but I value trades more than I value boosts. I'm not sitting here going, oh, gee, I need boosts in round 20 or round 17, but I do need trades. So I don't mind going a little bit hard if relevant, if required for boosts early in the season, but then I tend to back off a bit on the trades because that total trade number still comes in really important for late season injuries. If we think back to last year, I ended up, if we remember, chasing a head-to-head win, getting in Harry Grant and Adam Dewey. I went, well, they scored 26 for 20 or something and didn't play the rest of the season. It totally derailed my overall chase because I'd used my trades chasing a head-to-head championship for some cash leagues, which is fine. Like, I don't regret it, but it just shows those 2 extra trades from an overall perspective would have netted me Reece Walsh for the last 3-4 weeks when he went off his nana, and I couldn't do it. So that just shows I didn't necessarily need a boost at that stage, but gee, I would have given anything to have 1 trade just to go, another gun to Walsh at that stage, or whatever it may be. But every year's different, isn't it? So we've just got to, every week we'll speak in that opening month and we'll be able to say, oh, gee, it looks like a boost week with these options. Or we can say, guys, just chill out unless you really need to. I don't see anything obvious this week. So week-to-week proposition for me, but use them if you need them. Need some value. You've just inadvertently hit on another really good point there, Spy, and that is for head-to-head focus players. Quite different to overall focus players. And if you're head-to-head focus players, you're all in on making the 8, hopefully making the 4 and getting that second chance in head-to-head finals. Probably want to be saving boosts for that last month of the season for your head-to-head final so that you have the extra trades. Well, if you can save a boost for like the prelim final, grand final, huge in head-to-head. Imagine going into a grand final with 3 trades up your sleeve. That's massive. Especially when it comes to the point of like head-to-head grand finals, depending on the format of your leagues, will often be around, say, 26.
there's restings, there's injuries, all sorts of things happening. So if you've got the boost and you're playing someone who can't field at 17, massive impact. So it does differ from head-to-head to overall.
One thing quickly, which is huge, is also, we spoke about it round one last year, was one of my main focuses, was money opportunities will come. They just do. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So I try not to focus too much on, got to sell this guy before his price drops or get him before he goes up. Sure, you can do that, and we'll get into it more as the season goes on, but opportunities will just arise as the year goes on, where you go, some nuffy winger's going to score a hat-trick at some point and be set for 200k price rise. You can just jump on if you need to, if you're lacking some cash, or, a fallen gun coming back from injury. Opportunities will arise. So for head-to-head players, you don't have to necessarily worry about that hot start in terms of building that squad quickly, whereas in overall, I think momentum is everything. So I think hot start becomes quite key.
Yep. No, I'm with you. And that's it, banking that cash early. And if it does mean burning a few boosts for overall, I think go for it. Guys, let's get stuck into our team previews. And the way I've formatted this, so these are all, loosely based off I'm doing squad previews in depth at scplaybook.com.au. The article's there, half are to subscriber only, half are to anyone to have a look at. But I've sort of broken it down into, I've got predicted team, draw, and then start, consider cheapies. Start is basically anyone that I've either got in my team or I'm strongly consider. Your blokes that are sort of on the fringe that I'm having a look at. They might be pre-season watchers. Cheapies are cheapies, so not much to go into there. So starting with the defending premiers, the Brisbane Broncos, and the 17 here, for the most part, picks itself, give or take a few injury concerns, but Reece Walsh at fullback, Josiah Karapani and Dean Mariner on the wings, Tony Staggs, Gurmat Shibasaki in the centres, Ezra Mann and Adam Reynolds in the halves, Corey Jensen and Payne Haas front row, Ben Hunt at 9, Brendan Piakura and Jordan Ricky on the edges, Pat Carrigan at 13. Brendan Piakura is under an injury cloud, so awaiting a bit more news there. But if he wasn't to start, I would imagine Oblix Tafa will come in and start on the edge. Hopefully pronounce that one right. We'll get that one sorted. A bench of Corey Pax, Tafa, Xavier Willison and Ben Tolte. The other one that'll come into consideration there, Spy, is apparently Grant Anderson is, a big, fan of, Madge is a big fan of Grant Anderson, doing good things out there, so he'll come into consideration as well, but I don't think it'll be too different to that. Corey Parks and Blake Moser, they'll also compete probably for that 14 role to start the season as well. In terms of their draw to start the year, they come up against the Panthers at home in Brizzy, the Eels at home, the Storm away, the Dolphins at home, and the Titans away. Get this. They leave Southeast Queensland once in the first 5 rounds. They play 2 top 8 sides and 3 bottom 8 sides in the first 5 rounds. Granted, I think the Eels and Dolphins will be improvers. So, all in all, the fact that they get a lot of these fixtures in Southeast Queensland, they don't go far. The draw's pretty good. They have buys in round 12, 16 and 19, so nothing to sort of be too concerned about early on there.
They never leave Southeast Queensland. What are you talking about?
It's remarkable.
This isn't new information.
Yeah, it's just incredible how AI has generated this draw, and it keeps happening to keep the Broncos in Southeast Queensland. I'm sure it does balance out, guys. Don't fire up. I'm not just a bitter Raiders supporter.
No, fire up.
That's only part of the reason. Reece Walsh in the start category. Now, he'll be in and out of my team all pre-season Spy, but $835,000, started last season with a 56.2 average. That was in the first 5 games. He then finished his final 6 games of the year with a 126-point average. Unbelievable numbers. We know that he went through finals, and I think he averaged like over 100 in real NRL finals as well. He's absolute bonkers. So where do you sit on Reece Walsh? Priced on an 85-point average. Is he a bloke that you're waiting for a price drop? Do you just go, this bloke doesn't follow rules, he'll come out with his tail up? How do you feel?
So initially I just locked him straight in. I was like, he will never leave my side again. That draw is pretty tough. Probably the opening 4 weeks in particular.
Yeah.
And obviously if I'm getting someone like Reece Walsh, for example, in my current side, there's not a Nathan Cleary. So if it's coming down to head between both of them, there's going to be some decisions made. If the draw is even remotely in the middle, I would not hesitate on Walsh. I'm glad we're talking about him first because this is my big tough decision of the year, and I think I'm going to land with him in my side. He hasn't left it yet, and I don't really plan for him to leave, but the more I look at that draw, there is a world where you could just make sure his tail's still up and he's not easing into the year over those first 3 weeks. I think from round 4 on, he near becomes a must for the season because what we saw last year is like nothing that I've probably seen in rugby league, maybe since I've been born. Like from that late season run, but particularly in the finals, what he did to Melbourne in the grand final. And Penrith did a really good job on him, but he still set up the match winner and was dangerous in that one. What he did to Canberra, it was insane. And the big difference was, I probably haven't spoken about it much. You probably have on Bloke, but our podcast ended. Prior to finals, we obviously spoke about it over the holidays.
I mean, we did do an SC Playbook Supercoach finals podcast the whole way through finals, but that's all right, man.
I've zero memory of that. No, I remember doing one with Clem, actually. That's right. It was his willingness to put his head through the line. And he's never done that. And you see blokes do it. Scotty Drinkwater did it a few years ago where he sort of went, I'm now willing to commit to that contact. And it's very natural in footy to go to the line and ball play before you get into that contact. Scotty started to do it a little bit. Pappenhausen's had success at his best where he just goes straight hard and through him on the line. Reece Walsh just finally, it's like he realised, he's like, oh, actually can't tackle me. If I just go like, when he gets that little hint of space, he did it to Munster in that last round of the season. And it's everything I've been waiting for from Reece Walsh, because as a defensive side, you then have to just be like, we have to commit numbers to him, which opens up his passing game, which just does everything. But the beauty from a Supercoach sense is every time he runs with confidence, tackle busts, just running stats, accumulating base, offloads come from it, line breaks. Like if he just goes to the line, let's run a scenario. He started to do it heaps late last year. Instead of just tipping on and maybe a line break assist, which is 8 points, his head through the line, 2 tackle busts, run line break is straight away 16 before he does anything. So that's like 2 line break assists every time. He typically then scored the try or he set one up. Is he goal kicking as well? Because I know Renault took it back for the grand final and that in that prelim, but Reynolds' hamstring sucks.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm the coach of Brisbane, if I'm in Brisbane, I say, mate, you kick for a while. Come the big games, Reynolds, you're still probably kicking. Like, let's be honest, that's reality. But why would we waste and risk Reynolds' hamstring when we've got Reece Walsh, who is a phenomenal goal kicker? If he gets the goal kicking, pretty excited to start with him. Penrith, Parrott on the up in Melbourne, though, could not be harder. So if he's just coming back, which happens a lot, start of the season, this same discussion will roll on to a lot of players for the preseason, so I won't go as in-depth on everyone, but what's he starting at? Is he coming out at 95%? Is he coming out at 80 and he's sort of not easing in, but it's round one, it's a long season, so if he's not at 95 and he's at 80, maybe he's not a buy for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you time your run. So, as to where we land there, I'm not sure, but in short, he's doing stuff that I've rarely seen on a football field, and his trajectory is only that way. So you don't really want to miss, but look, it's going to be pretty easy to get him in round 1, round 2 if he blitzes Penrith as well.
Yeah. Look, the question mark will be around how Reece Walsh returns. Will he be at 100%, 95%, 80%, as you said, Spy? For those out there wondering how Spy was going to return for the season, I think that answer has summed it up. And I reckon you've been stewing on this one for a while, and I think you're pretty keen for round 1.
Yeah, 5 months. I genuinely had 2 months off footy. I'm like, just leave me alone. It's like maybe you have like your favourite food, or you have a weekend with the boys where you're like, that was the best thing I've ever done, but I just need 4 days off. Come meet me on Friday. It's not saying I don't love you. I just need a bit of time off, but I'm back. Yeah,
well, in that 5-minute, I don't want to call it an expose or something, you covered everything and every scenario. I don't have much to add other than I'm also keen on Reece Walsh. Huge merit in not starting him and going with someone like... There are a lot of mid-range fullbacks that are enticing. Suafai Longo, Keanu Kinney, Kalen Ponga. They could be a stepping stone to Reece Walsh, who... There's every chance he does drop a bit of cash while the other guys make it and bang, there's a 200k swing. But again, the form he finished the year and he's going to be very hard.
We'll call that the Reece Walsh scenario because there's going to be a lot of players in the pre-season where I have similar questions about how they come back. So we'll just say refer to.
Payne Haas, 852k, averaged 95.2 points per game across his first 5 games last season. He averaged 87 across the entire year. That was 13 points clear of his 74-point average back in 2023. A huge price to pay for a front rower, Spy. Payne Haas isn't any front rower. I am very tempted just to start him, lock him in as my captain the first 5 weeks, bank that 75 to 80 average, and just sleep easy. What are you thinking?
Well, I've got 4 lines written for Walsh, which I expanded to 40. Next to Haas, I've just written, yep.
Yeah.
I think I want that super reliable captain in that opening month. if I see one of Walsh or any of those boys hot early, I'm happy to jump across. But for round 1 and 2, it'd be nice just to have the C on Payne Haas. Let him do his thing. If you can then score a meat pie or something on the back of it, suddenly you do get 120, 130 or whatever. So very keen. I don't really see a world where I won't have him, to be honest. Like the drop down to the next front row is so good, and we just saw what he did last year. He just went to that new level and just lock him in, I reckon.
Actually didn't have any at the Broncos in the consider front. There were the couple of guns, and then there are some cheapie options.
I've got one consider for you before you go cheapies.
Okay.
If you want to do it that way around.
Consider away, mate.
It's Karapani on that left edge.
Yep.
I also think he's a bloke that, just the eye test for me last year, that kid is a freaking gun, and I reckon he could go to the next level, especially his running game, tackle busting and the like. The knock on him is that Reece Walsh and Shibasaki take a lot of points off him. It doesn't always make it to him on the left wing because they're so good on his inside. But Ezra Mam's ball playing late in the season, he loved the link-up lob ball, the old harbour pass to the left wing there. So Karapani on the left wing, whilst I'm not going to start with him, that's just a fact, but he's as close a watch as I could have. And it won't take me long to go, yep, you're on my side for the year, done.
Yep. I just think at 622K, that's the awkward thing. Priced very heavily.
Yep.
Especially coming into that Broncos team the back end of the year when they were flying. I think, as you said, defences will be up a little bit early on and he'll need those tries. But, yeah, again.
And that draw again, like if it was a softer draw early, I might actually consider him. But left wing versus Para, who I think are going to be very improved around Penrith and Melbourne. Happy just to see how he's looking.
Moving on, and there are a few cheapies to consider pending how the preseason plays out and the round 1 team list comes out. But Brendan Piacura at 305K. Look, 31-point average last season. That is from 52 minutes per game. In his 9 games over 60 minutes last season, he averaged 43.4. Not great, but there's an improvement there. But that's, again, over 60-minute games. If there's an 80-minute edge roll, and again, I know he's under an injury cloud, which tends to be the case with Brendan Piacura, very susceptible to head knocks as well. But Piacura is someone that, if named in round 1, starting on an edge at 305K and looks likely to play 80 minutes, maybe 65 plus, one that I'll strongly consider. Blake Moser at 216K. He will need an injury to, Ben Hunt, potentially Corey Parks, but one to watch because he has a lot of upside if the minutes do come. Ben Takura at 235K. Again, another minutes one, but Kobe Hetherington leaving there some minutes to open up in the middle of the field. I think if we saw like a Carrigan or Haas go down, there will be a few potential bench cheapies like Tafar, like Takura that may become relevant, but until that point, not as much. Of those cheapie Spy, anything to add?
Just the great Walsh and Haas said 2 years ago when we all started with Piacura, he's like, this isn't based on anything, but he just seems like the bloke who can't stay on the field for a variety of different reasons, and he couldn't have been more bang on. So I don't really have any interest in him except for the fact that he is 300K and he can play footy. But I want to see him put together. He's the kind of bloke, if he goes bang, bang and scores well, I'm happy just to buy him with a low break even. But let's see him stay on the field first. And when he does play, he's often off before 20 minutes. The head knock is just, he accumulates anything.
He can also play 80 and score 20. Like, the red flags are aplenty.
He's a real-life potential star.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in and around Queensland somehow, but they obviously see stuff in him. But Supercoach is just, it's not his thing just yet.
Yep. And again, if he's 350K plus, I don't even mention him, but at 305, it's like a pretty cheap for a strike back roller. Guys, we have an exclusive invite for 30 SC Playbook subscribers. You're invited to a premium Supercoach night at Allianz Stadium. It is the Supercoach NRL season launch. You'll see draft picks revealed, hear expert analysis, and walk away with serious intel for the 2026 season. Myself, Guru, Kempy, Justin Horoscope, Cooper Johns, all getting in on the action. There's some more people to be announced as well. It's a huge list for this night out at Allianz Stadium. We're doing a Supercoach draft night in studio with a lot of these people on the panel, pre-recorded. Then we're going to be chatting about it and revealing our teams on the night. Heaps of guests coming along. Wednesday, the 18th of February this year, Allianz Stadium in Sydney. It will be first in, best dressed for SC Playbook subscribers. If you cannot attend, do not enter because that doesn't make a heap of sense. It is for those aged 18 plus. I'm going to send out an email to active SC Playbook subscribers this Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Sydney time. There's going to be a link to grab a ticket there. If you can't see it, check your junk folder straight away. Good luck. Hopefully we'll see you there. Spy. Onto the mighty Canberra Raiders. Predicted team for the season. Kyle Weeks at fullback. Savelio Tamale and Xavier Savage on the wings. Matt Timoko, Seb Chris at centre in the centres. Ethan Strange, Ethan Sanders in the halves. Kobe Black will obviously put a bit of pressure on Ethan Sanders there for the halfback spot. Josh Papali'i and Joe Tarpany at the front row. Tom Starling at 9. Hudson Young, Zach Hosking on the edges. Matty Nicholson will put a bit of pressure on there as well. Corey Horsburgh at 13. Owen Paddy 14, Simi Sasagi 15, Adam Mariota 16, and Matty Nicholson 17. Obviously, Morgan Smithy's in that mix as well, but a lot of depth in the Raiders forward pack, so plenty to play out there, but pretty decent looking roster. Fixtures to start the season: Seagulls away, Warriors away, Bulldogs at home, Sharks at home, Knights away. Their buys coming in round 11, 18, and 26. I didn't have Spy any major, like, lock this bloke in, you've got to have him. I think Ethan Sanders is one that's going to be hard to avoid if he's starting round 1, especially if he is goal kicking, depending where that lands. Ethan Sanders will be a big option. There's an argument there in, do you go like Cleary and Dan Anderson or someone as well? More on that later on in the season, but I like Ethan Sanders. One of the big considers for me, though, and he's currently in my team, that is Savelio Tamale.
Got him in.
He's in.
Oh, it's all happening.
Yeah, 547K. 6 tries in 15 games last year. That was discounted a 14-minute game in round 14. He had a base of 26 per game and an elevated scoring 104 tackle bars at 6.93 per game last year, essentially in his rookie season in the NRL. Spy, you look at eye test. I don't love left wing for the Raiders in terms of quality ball, stripping teams of numbers, easy dive over tries that we see Broncos wingers, for example, score off the back of Reece Walsh's ball playing. But Tamale, tackle buster, work rate, he's just a Supercoach player.
He is a Supercoach player. Bloody good NRL player as well, mind you. Yes. To be honest, my notes on the Raiders are this: next to 0. That's not a knock on them. It's because they were so good last year that every one of their players is somewhere around that peak value. Probably a time will come through the season, like Hudson Young and that, who we'll want. But at this stage, it's pretty much just Ethan Sanders if I don't have Dan Atkinson. That's basically it. Tamale is interesting.
I thought you'd be a sucker for Tamale.
He's up my alley.
You live and breathe power stats.
But I also love a team that, as you alluded to, scores really easy fresh air tries for wingers.
You know the only thing, though, which is huge, I just feel it's a bit less relevant early in the season. Teams just, it's always clunkier. They're never moving well. Defenses are always better. I just feel like it takes time for attacks to click into gear. Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's a boss. He's an absolute boss. I'll have a bit of a dig for you next time I'm on the line and having a look. But at the moment, Brian To'o's 40k more. I just know who I'd prefer.
Well, we get 7 CT dub spots, so you're allowed to have both, Spy.
Yeah, well, some would.
I have both.
Yeah, sweet. But Centre is very exciting. We'll obviously get to it as the pre-season goes on. So whilst I don't think he's a horrible bowler by any means, I haven't really looked at him much because my centres are stacked and I'm already set with them.
Without revealing your team, because we'll do that. We'll do that in the next couple of weeks. Might even do it next week, Spy.
Yep.
Is a 1H Farnworth in there?
Yes.
Talk to me.
For now.
You've got him in.
He's on the, what's it called? The Reece Walsh level of he just found something last year where I was like, he's just getting better and better. I'm like, they cannot tackle him.
Yeah.
And he's got Izzy Qatar on his inside, and that left edge for the Dolphins is unbelievable, and they got day games, so we'll get to him. But at the moment, I'm doing
Combo outside him won't hurt things either.
Yep, I'm doing everything I can to have Herbie in. He's not left my side. He'll only leave it if I simply need the cash. I'm like, I'm just too short in this position, but I want to start Herbie.
Good luck to you, and good luck to me watching.
You know, while we're on it, I did speak to one of the boys on the weekend about this. You can start Herbie. If I do, he's 823k. See how he's looking. If he's the Herbie we know and love, I'll go, sweet, I'm just keeping you for the year. If there's any hint of, okay, maybe he's just going to average 70 this year and lose cash, I can guarantee you by round 3, there's going to be an absolute standout purchase in centres with a super low break even.
Yeah.
I'll just go Herbie to them, and I know I'm going to need an upgrade in one of this back row or somewhere. Yeah. So it's a 2-trade haul. I'd just rather start with the bloke who can hopefully get me those 2 tons early. And if it doesn't pay off, I don't lose any money. So it's almost like a free swing.
Which I get. But what I will say is that you've also spent 300 grand extra in your round one team that could have been dispersed elsewhere, and you're not needing to fix stuff up later. But
Absolutely.
it's not a free swing.
Absolutely.
That's just bullshit. But
it's a free swing money wise. Like it's a free crack at centre. We'll get to team review, but my back row is currently allowing this.
Anyway, we'll get to that later.
That could change.
We'll get to that later.
Herbie in.
Ethan Strange is one. Initially, I thought, no, not interested. But then I go through the 5'8" position, and it's a bit of a bludger. There's not a lot of standout options there. And I look at Strange, 15 tries in 23 games last year, huge strike rate, 610K, and I think 62-point average with 25 in base. I thought, how much more upside is there? That he does have some low scores in him. But he's another one that you just like, kid can play footy. He's just a weapon. Like, does he get better this year? And the reality is, yeah, probably. I don't see why not. It's his second full year in the NRL, third season, whatever. Not in my team for now, but I can see the case for him.
Yeah, he's a gun and he's a ball runner. Tons galore late last year. I do think he has to be considered for sure. New halves pairing's interesting. That's not a knock on him. It's just it does take time with a new halfback in place.
I think it's probably good though. Like I feel he'd only get more ball with Jamal gone.
No, for sure.
Rookie 7, yeah.
For sure. It's just that combinations. But yeah, I just think the way he carries the footy, speaking about Supercoach points, they just accumulate. So I think one to consider absolutely would be Ethan Strange at 5'8".
The other one could need to do some get a bit of intel, but could kick goals, which would be...
If he was goal kicking,
I'd probably start him.
I'd probably start. That would be a little turning point.
That being said, as we've seen in the past with many a player, you can be a goal kicker, and it's great for Supercoach in theory, but you've got to kick him between the two.
Got to be able to kick him. Yeah.
Joe Tarpany, look, he'll be factored in at some point in the year, but for 700K, I kind of just want to plug in Payne Haas and then find probably a mid-ranger to go with him. I'm not interested in Taps to start the year.
Nah, not at all. He was outstanding last year, and it'll come a time we probably want him. Just something to mention on Strange and Tamale. Seagulls round one at Brookie. Could be points. There's no real knock there. But then Warriors in New Zealand into the Bulldogs and Sharks.
Pretty tough.
That's not great going in terms of point scoring matches. Even the Knights last year showed for the first half of the season they were the second best defence in the comp, which might blow some minds.
Yeah.
That was up until post-Origin. Then they just fell off a cliff. Then they played the Knights. So it worries me, that draw. Again, if there's some softer matchups, not that there's many soft matchups early, but that's particularly tricky in my eyes.
Yeah. And Hudson Young, the last one on touch on, 754K, 77-point average last year, 7 points higher than his next best output. Couldn't stop scoring tries early on in the year, 10 tries in his opening 12 games, but then the try scoring did dry up late. I think I'm going to look for value elsewhere in the 2RF and then look to get him at some point. I just think it's a big price for a bloke who did score a lot of tries and have assist quite a bit last year.
Yeah, he might be my first upgrade in the back row there, but not start with him.
Yeah. Manly, Warringah, Sea Eagles. Where are you? Alrighty. So, predicted 17 for Manly. Tommy Turbo at fullback. On the wings, Jason Saab, Lehigh Hopewade. Centres, Tolotau Kola, Ruben Garrick. In the halves, Luke Brooks, Jamal Fogarty. Front row, Jake Trebojevic, Siwa Takiaho, Kobe Hetherington at 13. On the edges, Ben Trebojevic, Hamale Olakuatu, Jake Simpkin at 9. On the bench, Taniela Paseka, Ethan Bullymore, Nathan Brown, Caleb Naval. Taniela Paseka could absolutely start in front of Takiaho. It's just he's coming back from a lengthy ACL layoff. If he did play off the bench round one, I'd expect him to start by, honestly, it could be around 2 or 3 or 4. So
view him as a starter, basically.
Sorry?
So you can nearly view him as a starter for purchasing reasons.
He's a bloke that I think will be in a lot of teams because he has some decent Supercoach in him. He gets the discount off the back of not really playing last season, so he'll be popular for good reason. But as he does inevitably probably get eased back into minutes, I would imagine I wouldn't want to play him in the first few rounds anyway because there could be 30s. I think he'll be a slow burn cash cow. Anyway, we'll get to him in a second. You know what? I don't really need to say a lot more about Paseka. I think he's a terrific buy to start the year.
Yep, great bench option. When I say bench, not to play in your 17, 18 at all, just to sit there and make some cash, and you might play him down the line.
He could, 3, 4, 5 rounds in, if the minutes are there, on return from injury, be that second front row forward if need be. So
definitely.
Yeah, he averaged 24. In 2024, he averaged 45 points per game. Back in 2023, he averaged 54, so not too bad at all. Draw for Manly, Raiders in round 1, Knights. Raiders in round won at home at Brookie. Knights at home, round 2. Bye in round 3, a bit awkward. Round 4, the Roosters at home again. 3 on the trot at home, how good. And then the Dolphins in round 5. The Byes are round 3, 15 and 22. We've spoken about Paseka. Spy Tom Trebojevic, 692k. In 2025, he averaged 74 points per game. They're in games of 80 minutes. In 2024 Supercoach season, 91.8 average in games of 70-plus minutes. Priced on a 71-point average. Oh, Tommy Turbo, talk to me.
For the first time since 2021, he's not currently in my side. I'm just getting sick of this pattern. He comes out, round 1 last year, he was phenomenal. He broke down midway through round 2 and he missed round 3. And he came back and he wasn't great for a while. Then he got healthy and blitzed it. I'm just going to wait for the blitz.
Yeah.
We know when it'll come at some stage. I'm going to be ready to swoop. In saying all that, 71 for Tommy Trbojevic is extremely undervalued if he is healthy.
Could blow it out of the water, yeah.
Which is why I love that round 3 buy as a non-owner, because
Yeah.
he's the easiest round 4 purchase of all time if Tommy is being Tommy. But I'm very happy to sit off those opening couple of games. Canberra, you don't really know what will happen in that game, but if any team's going to be fired up for round 1, it's the Raiders after the back end of last year. And then again, the Knights know how to defend. In round 2, they could be real tough to crack. It's not round 23 of last season when they had just thrown the towel in, essentially. Then the bye. So I'm happy to stay off Tommy. I wouldn't say happy, but I'm like, it's that same old thing. I'm going to stay off him early, and with the quality of options at fullback, that's the other reason as well.
There's a world where by round 4, Reece Walsh to Tom Trebojevic, which is the most popular trade.
Yeah.
If Walsh starts with a 50-point average, has a break-even of 3,000, he's going to drop a ton of money, and Turbo starts like the Turbo we know and love.
You just swap him.
Yeah, and you just drop him down, and then you move someone to Walsh once he bottoms out in price.
Yep.
That could happen.
Yep, for sure.
But I'm with you. It is a watch for me. Hamole Olakuatu, 650k. Ola, 72-point average last season in non-injury impacted games. He started the year last year. I was an owner to kick it off with a 75-point average. You could. My concern there is his combination with Cherry Evans was unbelievable. Fogarty comes in, which is fantastic, but it's going to take time. I think he'd lose a bit of attack with no Ches there. I'm going to stay off. What are your thoughts?
I'm not going to buy him, but the way Olakuatu plays footy, I actually think Fogarty could suit him because it's uncomplicated short balls. It's just get him one-on-one where you can and let him work. That's where I think Olakuatu does do some of his best work. There are times where Cherry will do some magic stuff for him. Other times, maybe he just overcomplicated it just from time to time. So I think, I remember when Foran played next to him a few years ago, and it was just that simple Foran ball at the line, and he blitzed it. So I won't be starting with him, but he's a pleasure to own when he's healthy and firing. So yeah, good to watch on him for that first back row upgrade a few weeks in, potentially. Maybe it's around 5 or 6, but free look at him just to see what he's all about in 2026.
I'll want him at some point, I'd imagine, just not to start. Ruben Garrick, one of your boys, Spy, 664k, and Tolotau Cola, 643k. Ruben Garrett married on the weekend. Shout out to Rubes. Good on him.
Nice, good stuff.
Tyrone Wishart's sister, I believe.
Gotcha.
I could also have got that wrong, but look,
We'll run with it.
It's out there now, so let's run with it. Not for me, Spy, but at the end of the day, Ruben I'm not going Nick Cola because he scored 17 tries in 22 games, erupted. He's a star, but he had a few new combinations in there. Garrick, there's a world where Ruben Garrick at 664k is a steal and erupts. Not guaranteed to goal kick with Jamal Fogarty there. I suspect it's probably Garrick, but it could be Fogarty. But yeah, I'm not interested in either yet. That could change very quickly.
Yeah, Gaza for me, he's the opposite to Olakuatu. I think he really thrives on that Cherry relationship. The short kick behind the line, that face ball at the line. Cherry and Garrick I really like their combination. I think Fogarty hurts Garrick quite a lot. Is he, what are we thinking? Centre, wing, we don't know yet.
Did you listen to my predicted 17, mate?
Not really. I was scanning my notes.
Centre.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd nearly prefer him on the wing.
I love him
outside
on the wing.
Tommy. Which
I think he's better on the wing.
That's a ridiculous comment. He's obviously better on the wing, but centre with no Cherry, I don't love it. Hearing a whisper, can't remember where from, but I'm hearing a whisper Fogarty is goal kicking. So
sounds concrete.
Yeah, real concrete. A real Christmas vibes type. Can't remember who told me. Can't remember if it was legit.
That person doesn't miss with his tips yet.
But in my head, it's legit. So I just think there's too many flags for Garrick. There's no need to start with him. round 3 bye. I just don't think you need to do it.
Well, with no goal kicking, I wouldn't go near him.
And then if he then doesn't goal kick and you're watching, it was just no point in getting him in at least immediately.
Yep, and then just the other one, cheapies wise, to keep an eye on Joey Walsh at $235,000. I can't wait to see this bloke in the top grade. Meant to be absolutely elite. Not expected to start in round 1. Could drag a bench spot, but yeah, he's
keen to watch him as well.
Heard great. I think we've all heard.
He played off the
things.
bench late last year and he looked awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if there's an injury in the halves, he's 100% owned in round 1, I think. So.
Yeah.
Guys, a huge thank you to Paddy and his team at Mortgage Choice SCW for partnering up as our major sponsor once again in 2026. They're a huge part of why SC Playbook has been able to expand in recent years with studio use, new sports, new contributors, new collabs, all the stuff that's gone into the show to make the platform grow. They've looked after us for a long, long time, and our community can give back to them. If you're dipping your toe into the housing market in 2026 and you're in need of a broker, reach out to Paddy and the team. Best of all, it's free of charge because you listen to the SC Playbook podcast. Simply mention SC Playbook when you get in touch and you get a free consult worth $129 to do so. Just hit them up on Instagram at mortgagechoice_SCW or give them a bell on 02 9521 1611. You were chatting to Paddy in the off-season, mate, Spy, looking after you.
Yeah, I actually need to go back to him. 2026, New Year, so see what the go is for the Williams family. But Paddy, I'll be in touch, mate. Maybe over a beer, ideally.
Fair chance over a beer, I'd reckon.
Yep.
Guys, Cronulla Sharks preview, the final one of the show for today. Starting 17, pretty well picks itself. Will Kennedy at fullback. Will have some pressure on him from young Liam Ison, though. Sione Katoa and Sam Stonestreet on the wings. Ronaldo Mulitalo, obviously out long term, unfortunately, with that knee injury. Jesse Ramian and Kale Iro in the centres. Braden Trindle, Nicho Hynes in the halves. Adam Fanua-Blake, Oregon Kafusi at prop. Blake Brayley at 9. Jesse Colquhoun at 13. Cam McInnes due back early-ish in the season, but unlikely for round 1.
NRL today was saying round 10.
Oh, wow.
But NRL Physio will be way more over it than that. But round 10 will be huge for Colquhoun.
That will be huge. Britton Nickera and Teague Wilton on the edges. Bench, Sifa Talakai, Billy Burns, Toby Rudolph, Tom Hazelton. Spy, fixtures, Titans at home. I mean, that's as good a matchup as you can get.
It's magic.
To start the season.
And, it's really important to note that the Titans could turn up and restrict the Sharks to 8. But if you're going to pick anyone to play round 1...
It's them.
It's probably them.
Yeah. Panthers away. That one in round 2 is in Bathurst, though. Note, Dolphins round 3, that's at home. Raiders away in round 4. Round 5, the Warriors at home. Their buys are in round 7, 12 and 17. 12 being the first major buy. So worth noting, I think if you're looking to get these potential season keepers like a Blake Brayley or a Nicho Hynes, missed 2 of the first 12 rounds. Not panic stations, but it is worth noting. For the cheapies, someone like Colquhoun, probably going to be gone by round 7 anyway because they'll have maxed in price. So not the end of the world there. Spy starts. I do have Colquhoun there. Dual 2-0 front row forward, 332k. If you're on the money with McInnes and not due back for a fair while, mate, he just re-signed on a long-term deal. Apparently fought off a fair bit of interest from rival clubs. He's priced on a 34-point average from 31 minutes of game time. In games over 35 minutes last year, he averaged 46.2 points, which is solid. 42.8 of that were in base stats. So if you can uptick those minutes to sort of 45 plus, maybe even more, there's cash to be made. He's a good footballer, gets through his work. I like him.
My question is this. There's a certain front rower who I think could have a real breakout year. He started to do it last year. We'll get that in other team chat, who was in my team. Till today, when I put Colquhoun as my starter with Payne Haas to start the season.
You can give the people a spoiler, Spy. Who dropped out?
Nafahu White. Ooh. But I reckon he's in for a monster season. Try-scoring potential.
Yep.
So I might go back to him. I'm just playing around a little bit.
Yep.
This gives me about $300,000. If he could average around that 50 mark for the opening 6-7 weeks as a front row partner to Payne Haas, that could be huge. I think he'd be in my side regardless, but it's a case of, he's probably going to be on my bench anyway. It's part of that sort of 17, 18-man squad. I'm tempted to start him. He's sort of showing what he can do. It's a somewhat boring play, but it's the kind of play that allows
perfect at that price.
The Herbie Farnworth and Carraz in your centres. So, at the moment he's my starting front rower.
Yeah.
I
think that's fine.
Yep, sweet. It's good then.
I would love to see a utility back on the bench as the sort of that Atkinson role last year rather than the 4-forward bench.
Yep.
But, I think we get a good idea leading into round 1.
Yep, for sure.
of the considers, Nicho Hynes, 749k, a 77-point average last season. He averaged 75 back in 2024. 2 years prior to that, they were the big ones by 95 points in 2023, 86 in 2022. His first 5 games last season, I started the year with him, averaged 71.8 the year prior in the first 5 games, 66 points per game. Pay out for Nicho or grab him later?
You got him in the halves, did you say?
Oh, my God.
I'm just cheating you up.
Go home.
I'm just cheating you up,
We're
mate.
still drunk from the weekend, Scott.
No, I'm still funny.
Huge call.
My notes on Nicho are last year he stopped offloading, he stopped tackle busting, and he stopped line breaking. Doesn't say he doesn't do that at all, but he doesn't do it much, and that's what he built a lot of his unbelievable performance of in previous years, because he's always got the attacking stats. He loves the line break assist, but he's sort of fallen away from the running game. So he's done the opposite to Reece Walsh, who's just accumulating stats like this because his running game's so powerful. He's gone back to a reliance on his passing game and he's kicking at times, but we saw his halves partner last year take a lot of the kicks as well. So he's interesting, right? He's still good though. It's not like he's bad. He's now not the Nicho of, is he going to average 90? Not the way he plays, he can't. But geez, you don't need that.
Like that year of all those things you mentioned, still delivered a 77 average.
Yeah, and he's still 77. A lot of it came late, and we spoke about it when it happened. There was a noticeable change in his demeanour. He did start to run a little bit more, and he had a little bit of intensity in him. So I won't start with him, but it wouldn't take much for me to say, Nicho is like...
Yeah.
He might not be 90 back, but maybe he's into those early 80s, mid-80s again. So he's a good Supercoach player, but I just love to see him running with a little bit more intent more often like he used to. So I'm not going to start with him, I don't think, but he's still good.
Yeah. Despite the... yeah. It's a decent draw to begin. I think I'd probably pay this extra 75 odd K, whatever it is, for Nathan Cleary.
I think I would as well.
Penrith do have a very tough draw, though, is the only thing. But
well, there's another halfback. There's a couple, actually.
Well, there's Jerome Hughes, there's Mitch Mose, there's options. So Nicho's not on my radar at the moment. But you're right. Like, if the Sharks light up the preseason, he looks great. It can change quickly, and that halfback position could change throughout the preseason. But not for me right now. Kale Iro, $705,000, 65-point average in 2024. That was with 41 points in base. Last year, the tries came by. 72-point average with 36 in base. He scored 10 tries in the first 9 games of the year. For that reason, he's priced pretty high. Because the year before, he had 1 try in his first 13 games before a bit of a flurry later on in the year.
He scored in every game till around 14. He just got hurt in the middle as well.
Yeah, so we could be saying a few rounds in, like, the tries don't come through, the average drops, he drops in price, or we could be going, this dude is just a base and power beast, and the tries are coming, he's a gun footballer, and everyone's trying to get him in.
I'll raise you this on Kale Iro. He finished with a 72 average. The first 8 weeks, he averaged 82.1. That included 1 half match. He played 40 minutes and scored 60, so his 82 average is probably on a points per minute basis, more like 86 or something like that. He then played 50 minutes in another match, so it knocked the average down again. And then the last 2 games of the season, he came back with a 46 and 50, easing back after a long spell. So it dropped it from like what could have been mid-80s without that injury to 72. So you're right. Does he keep scoring like this? Is he overvalued or is he undervalued because of the injuries? And I don't really have the answer except that I'd be perfectly happy to have him on my side because he's a freaking gun.
See, I'd be tempted to start him ahead of Herbie at 120k less.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they're very similar players, but that left edge it's that Izzy Katoa factor.
Yeah, and look.
Yep. And how good Herbie is.
If Iro and Herbie were the same price, it's Herbie every day.
Yep.
But I'm talking 120k difference. That's a fair bit. Like.
He's right in the mix for me. Absolutely.
And lastly, at the Sharkies, there's Britton Nicholas I've deep dived into in the article, and there are more players in the article that I've touched on in depth, but Adam Fanua-Blake at 638k, against by his minutes dropped going from the Warriors to the Sharks, so he's now priced on a 65-point average from 54 minutes per game, so probably a more reasonable starting price, I think, this year than last year as a result. Again, I think I'm happy to get your sort of captaincy play of Payne Haas at front row, AFB, I'll keep an eye on him and probably own him at some point, but just partner more of a mid-range front row forward with Haas.
Yep.
Not for me, but again, if the tries come, he could average 90 across the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, AFB, we know what he's capable of. He's not in my side, but if you want to start with him, not going to knock you too hard.
Cheapie watch is Liam Eisen at $216,000. Should he win that fullback spot at all or anything happen to Will Kennedy, he'd again become a near must at the price. I'll tell you what else would happen there. He's fullback only, so that would make the fullback position very, very interesting. A bit of an Iongi play from last year. Guys, we are also on the lookout, as I said, for sponsors to partner up with us in 2026. So if you think your business would like to link up with SC Playbook this year, flick us an email at supercoachplaybook@gmail.com. That is full word Supercoach, and we can pass on the details from there. Spy, thank you, mate. You're off to an Oztag semi tonight?
Yeah, we haven't played in about 9 weeks with holidays, forfeits and rain. So I've been playing other sports, but I don't know if I remember how to tag. We'll find out soon.
All right.
But no, I'll go give it a crack. First game back after Christmas. So I dare say the Cheers squad probably aren't in prime nick, but we're there to compete and have a crack anyway.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great week.